Okay, so Osamason has abandoned the mysterious act ever since Jump Out dropped. I mean, I know you guys listened to that album and maybe you didn't like it first listen, but I do think that it's been growing on people. I've seen a lot of positive comments about it. And now I'm going to see even more positive outlook on Osamason because he's starting to be more relatable, funny. Like, I don't know. We just got another Osamason interview, which is super rare, bro. He's been kind of mysterious before this, but he let us in on a lot of interesting things, including, the Goonacide, Minecraft videos, lawn care services, old jobs, Home Depot, even his fallout with NetSpend possibly, and stuff along those lines. I mean, this interview is actually awesome. I'm going to break it all down for you today. But before we get into it, if you guys could drop a subscription to Sad Part 2, where I'm bringing you all of the underground rap commentary videos, as much as I can. So make sure you're subscribed to here. Also follow the Instagram where you get super breaking news, and even join the Discord where you can talk to other underground fans. Everything will be linked in the description, so go check that out if you have time. But yeah, let's get into this Osamason interview because, it's by Pitchfork. Like, this is a big deal. This is a big publication, and Osamason, the underground, the Osama season, is getting his own Pitchfork interview. That's crazy. Also, shout out to Kieran Press Reynolds, friend of the show, Kieran Press Reynolds. He's the one who did this interview, and he's a cool guy, so shout out to him. There's also a bunch of fun photographs in here that was done by Haley Heaton, so shout out to her. I'll put them in throughout the video most likely. But yeah, let's just get into this interview. Okay, so firstly, the interview is titled Osamason, Bass Boosted to the Big Leagues, and says Rabbit Hole is Kieran Press Reynolds' weekly column exploring songs and scenes at the intersection of music and digital culture, separating posting genius from passé lameness. In the first edition, Kieran samples Sweet Treats with the rager of the moment, Osamason. So right here, they're calling him the rager of the moment, the mosh pit underground guy, which is pretty fair considering his music, his bass boosted style, and that's what it was in the title, bass boosted to the big leagues. And that's actually the first thing he got into with the interview, saying, quote, "I used to try every single way you could bass boost your stuff," he says. "I'm addicted to how it sounds." And again, this is kind of referencing how Jump Out didn't really have this bass boosted inaudible sound as much as his older projects, but if you remember, there was 808s shaking, you couldn't hear the vocals, everything was so distorted and loud and bass boosted. I think that's what drew a lot of people to Osamason in the first place, and also why a lot of people didn't like Jump Out as much and missed his old sound, because they were into that real underground stuff. But honestly, if he wants to break through to the mainstream and kind of get to the next level, then he can't make that stuff because it's not palatable to the normal person. The normal TikTok user isn't going to want hearing their ears destroyed on every beat. But a lot of people did credit Ken Carson for Osamason's original rise, but I do think that it was more so just memes and this bass thing. Ken never really went that far to that extent with it, but Osamason did. He took it to that level, and that's how he got to be known as the mosh pit high energy guy. And it's clearly working out for him. Here he talks about Playboi Carti again through, kind of similar to Ken Carson. People say he has stolen aesthetics from Playboi Carti for album covers and such. But he says here that he discovered Playboi Carti from a clip of him performing Fetty on a YouTube Best Show Drops compilation. And YouTube is a theme that comes throughout this interview. We're going to hear something interesting about his favorite YouTube content in a little bit, which is going to be a bit surprising to you. But shout out to Best Show Drops compilation. Apparently he started rapping in 8th grade to make funny songs for his classmates, but unfortunately he was expelled during middle school and also got in trouble just throughout school, getting in-school suspensions and stuff like that. Shout out to in-school suspension, man. I don't think I ever got it out of school suspension, but I do remember getting ISS for just horse fighting, bro, and you would have to, they would bring you packets and you have to be silent all day, bro. Oh my gosh, I do not miss those days, man. But also he continued about talking about his recent collaborations with NetSpend and kind of an unfortunate future that we'll get into in a second. But he says, quote, "We used to just make random songs in random places," Osamason says. "It'd be all right, he'd fall asleep and I'd make a verse, and then I'd fall asleep and he'd go finish the verse. We'd both go to the studio and just go to sleep." Fans were distraught last year when rumors spread that the two were beefing. Osamason doesn't address it with me and says they have a, quote, chill relationship, that they've both been on the road too much to meet up. He's not sure they'll ever collaborate again. Quote, I don't know, man. I've been really on some stuff by myself. So yeah, here it kind of sounds to me like the Osamason and Nesbitt thing is over. And I remember they were hinted at beefing a little bit ago, like they had unfollowed each other and there was like weird messages going around or something. I forget exactly what happened. It was something along those lines, but here it seems like Osamason is actually getting into it and being like, yeah, we haven't made music together in a while and I don't see it happening in the future. And this is kind of something that we saw with Lil Uzi and Playboi Carti, and a lot of people were positioning them as the next Uzi and Carti, but clearly Osamason and Nesbitt had the fallout, or in all likelihood it's probably a label thing. Like the labels don't want them working with each other. Nesbitt's label doesn't want him with Osamason, or Osamason's label doesn't want him with Nesbitt, or they don't want their brands too intertwined or something like that, bro. So it's probably something along those lines. And Carti and Uzi had the same thing fall out, but they had gotten way bigger before it happened. And I think Osamason and Nesbitt could have really like taken it to the next level. They could have got really big together. And unfortunately, you know, the fallout is probably inevitable in the music industry and stuff like that, but it seems like this was super early, bro. Like I think they could have kept it going. And Withdrawals is hard, like Cha-Ching, they have a lot of good music together, but seems like we're not going to be getting any more. Then he talks about his YouTube taste that I mentioned earlier, and the interviewer mentioned this. It sounds like he's being like honest, goofy, and not trying to put on this fake persona, which I think he was putting on earlier in his career, and that's why a lot of people didn't really like him or thought he was corny. But now that his entire digital footprint is uploaded to the internet, it's pretty clear that he has to be himself, and he's going to be perceived corny regardless, so he might as well embrace the corniness, you know? He said, quote, 100 days in survival mode Minecraft videos are my favorite, and he loves those videos a lot. I posted this to my Instagram, and a lot of people were commenting saying, bro, like, oh my gosh, me and Osamason are so similar, like I watched that while eating. And I think this is a good move, bro. Like he's making himself seem relatable to the fans and his audience, and that's cool to be honest about stuff like that, because some people might think, oh, it's cringe to watch Minecraft videos. He also talks about his contempt for the act of walking, which is crazy, bro. I went on a beautiful hiking walk today through nature. It was actually beautiful, and I do not agree with this take at all. This is a really bad take, but to each their own. He said, I'm super lazy, bro, he confesses, blotting a strand of hair after it fell in his milkshake, which is fucking disgusting. But he also said, I hate walking around and stuff. My brothers and stuff, like they take in walks and stuff. I don't F with that stuff, bro. Like, oh my gosh. Not only is his grammar and speech absolutely insufferable, but also the take is like, how do you not like walking, bro? Walking in the sun in nature low-key gives you the best feeling in the world, like that serotonin rush, like just basking in that beautiful glory. Like, come on, man, there's nothing better. I think you should adapt to it, bro. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. He also talks about the interviewer also talks about those videos that have leaked of him doing cringe, like at school videos, stuff like flip a coin to see if he can get a kiss on the cheek, and photos from when he was in high school basketball and football and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely a big part of Osamason. Like I think like people who are outside of the culture even know about this stuff, you know, like it's a meme, just like the Rhonda thing kind of eclipsed the underground. Like the Osamason thing, like people know about those memes even that don't listen to him, because they're like, oh yo, this rapper's videos got leaked from high school, and it's just a funny thing. Osamason actually spoke on this though, and kind of seems to be a bit upset about it, though not that much. Obsessive fans have concocted some lore he approves of, like calling him the, quote, Goose Creek Demon, but shitpost pages have also spammed fake info to the point where he has had to alert his mom and dad to ignore it. Quote, they build false narratives because they know certain names are going to get them clicks and interactions. It affects us and our personal lives, he groans, but I am quite grateful for being in a position where people can use my name for clout. And so, yeah, he doesn't seem to be too upset about it. He's just more so thankful for, you know, being in the position. That's cool, because honestly, like, it's what comes with it, you know? Like, if you're gonna strive to be a famous rapper or a public figure, then, you know, the positives of that are you can make money, you can have fame, you can you know, have the advantages and perks that come with being famous, traveling the world, you know, getting stuff for free or whatever. But on the balance, you're also gonna have people looking into your life and following you around, or whatever the negatives could be. So it's a give and a take, and unfortunately I think Osamason did get a hard end of the stick with this. Like, for being a smaller artist, it's like the underground fans and the underground in general, like, they have such a dedicated and like obsessive fan base. Like, other artists of his similar size that do other genres wouldn't be getting as much personal attention as him. But something about the underground, bro, it just like brings the worst out in people, I guess. Next, he talks about gooning, which is kind of crazy that the interviewer brought this up. I wonder how the interviewer brought this up to him, bro. Like, yo, have you ever heard of the word gooning? Like, what are your thoughts on this current gooning? They said that the underground community's latest obsession is the brain rot buzzword gooning, which is also related to the goonicide. And if you guys don't know what the goonicide is, it's an incident with like a guy in a drive-through, and then he did something bad to himself. And I'm not going to get into the details. I'm sure you know what it is, though. But here we get Osamason's take on it, which I never thought in my life I would get Osamason's take on the goonicide. But we do. And Osamason says that he finds no humor in it at all. Quote, "That was disgusting. I'm not going to lie. I don't feel like people should joke about it either. Quote, it's an issue in today's generation on what we take serious. It's expected to be cooked. There's not even nothing you can do about it." And yeah, bro, first he was saying that was disgusting, and I wasn't sure what he meant by that, but given the sentence structure, it seems like he was saying the guy doing that act was disgusting, which is pretty gross, bro. Like, oh my gosh, going through a drive-through with your thing out and like looking at, like, oh my gosh, that's weird. That's weird activity. And then he also says it's weird for people to joke about it, which I also understand. Like, people to joke about a guy with a family who like ended the life over that, like, that's not something to joke about. But that's what he's saying, bro. Like, this generation is cooked, like the humor, like it's dark and whatever. But also, I mean, it's like how people have always been, like dark humor, how you deal with like dark realities and stuff like that. But what are your guys' thoughts on the goonicide? Like, do you think that it is a bad thing, or do you think it's funny, or should I engage in one, or what? Let me know in the comments. Then they talk about how he's had over 12 jobs, from working at hotels and warehouses to Sky Zone and Wendy's. And I'll put a clip from that. I'll put a clip of him talking about that here.
I started at Sky Zone, then Wendy's, Walmart, UPS, FedEx, some random ass warehouse job. I was moving like lumber and shit. A grocery store, a hotel. I worked at another Walmart.
What was the last job you worked before being a full-time rapper?
A hotel. So I was like getting off of work at like 7 a.m., going home, making trillers, and then I'd record to like 12, and then go to sleep all day and then repeat.
So yeah, that's very fun. That's a very fun clip to me. I mean, it gives a lot of human relation to him as well. Like, I'm sure a lot of kids are working jobs like that right now and trying to be rappers or whatever. And I think it gives them motivation for the future. So if you're in that position, then remember, bro, like, keep going. You never know where you'll be. But yeah, they said that he's still portfolio maxing like crazy. And he's actually started to buy and fix up vending machines and a claw machine that he plans to fill up with Balenciaga. So it seems like Osamason is an entrepreneur of types, and that's not the only business he wants to start, which I'll get into in a sec. But the vending machine and claw machine business, it does seem very lucrative. I mean, it's almost a passive income source, and we've seen that all over TikTok, you know. So it seems like Osamason got dragged into that Sigma Grindset TikTok side where people tell him to buy vending machines and stuff, and he actually has the money to do it, unlike most of the people who see those videos. So that's cool that he's getting into that. I hope I find an Osamason claw machine one day. But also, he says, quote, "I want to have my own lawn care service soon," he declares. "It's stuff that people overlook, you feel me? It's not all about jewelry and clothes." And wow, that's actually Very nice ambition for the future, you know, like he's making money right now to invest into other businesses, because you never know when this rap stuff could be over, bro. When you're an entertainer, at the end of the day, like it could all be gone with the flip of a switch. So you need to build something outside of that, and again, owning business is a great way to do that. Hopefully I get to that point one day. You know, I have a lot of beautiful ideas in mind, such as a beach towel company, and yeah, if anyone wants to invest in my company, then let me know in the comment section and I'll get you on board. We'll bring you in. The interviewer said that Osamason reminds him of the D1 cross-country athletes that I ran into who'd have quotes by the legendary distance runner Pavo Nurmi on their walls. Quote, "I hope my hard work just shows," he tells. Osamason said, quote, "I hope my hard work just shows." That's what he said to the interviewer, staring at him intently. So yeah, Osamason is definitely on that Sigma grind set, and shout out to him, man, because when you're a rapper, like it's probably easy to get sucked into the lifestyle of, you know, just being a rapper and like girls and cars and money or whatever, but he's building something outside of that, and he's being humble and relatable in this interview, and hopefully that reflects on the numbers as well. The outro is fun too. He said, "You'd expect a rage rap prince to be wreaking havoc non-stop, but he says he spends most of his time chilling and decorating his new house in LA. He lives alone except for his Bengal clat flexor. There's another one on the way, but it's still being potty trained. One of his idle fantasies is to get a big crib with a ton of land in Ohio and raise a baby panther." Okay, so here we get insight that Osamason loves cats, and he named his cat Flexor, which we actually learned in a previous interview. But again, now we know that there's another cat too, and he wants to raise a panther in Ohio. Is he from Ohio? I think he was like partially from Ohio, partially from South Carolina or something, I forget. But yeah, those are good goals, bro. Like a lot of people want to move to the city or whatever, but Osamason wants to move out to the country and get a big land, which I agree with, bro. Like I'd love to go to like Tennessee or North Carolina or something, like in the middle of nowhere, have a family and a farm, or like just land to do like dirt bikes and stuff, bro. That city life is overrated, man. Like the small town where it's at. He also said, until the interviewer says, to end the interview, he says, until then, he's going to keep cooking, expanding his sound with the goal of world domination. When we finish the sweet treats, Osamason sends his regards to the chef, even if he only downed about half of his order. His large entourage comes back, and he disappears into the pack. They roll back into the dark van. As I walk away, I can almost hear it convulsing with low end already. So yeah, I guess they were like eating dessert during this. Oh yeah. Okay, so actually I didn't go over this, but so they ordered dessert during the interview and talked about it. And talked about the stuff while eating it. So it says, we hop out in the Carroll Gardens on a sunny street packed with parents pushing strollers inside a colorful soda fountain, decked out with retro bait dinner counter stools and garish show tunes blasting. We go dumbo. 2 cookies and cream milkshakes, a Coke, hot chocolate dripping in s'mores ingredients, and a warm brownie sundae. Osamason got no sleep yesterday because of construction buzzing outside his hotel, so he really needed the sugar high. And yeah, that's awesome. They got I wonder what of the order was Osamason's, guys. So obviously, since there's 2 cookies and cream milkshakes, one of them was for Osamason. But do you think that Osamason got the Coke, the hot chocolate with s'mores, or the warm brownie sundae? I'm guessing he probably got the Coke and the warm brownie sundae, and then, you know, Kieran probably got the hot chocolate and the cookies and cream milkshake. But let me know your thoughts on those in the comment section. Another Osamason thing I want to go over is this Hassanabi clip that surfaced when Hassan was, or if you don't know who Hassan is, he's like a political streamer, and he goes over a bunch of, you know, he's low-key the biggest political streamer in the world, one of the biggest streamers, period. And he was talking about the whole Kanye situation and how he thinks Kanye could low-key be fixed, and I'll put the clip here.
His artistic expression is not up to par. Like, I feel like if you made him listen to like a one Osama song or whatever, he would snap back to reality almost. Like, it would break his brain so hard. Like, a lot of where rap is going right now with, you know, underground artists and underground music. No, not Bin Laden, man. Osamason. Like one Plaque Max collaboration stream would just destroy.
So yeah, basically he's saying that Osamason music could solve Kanye's issues, and obviously the chat he was talking to are not familiar with Osamason or his music, so they were like, bro, are you talking about Osama bin Laden. And this is actually a reference back to the interview because Kieran Press Reynolds actually mentioned this in the thing. He said, another banger starts with a newscaster sample that's a little on the nose, especially since we just left the Pitchfork office in the World Trade Center. Quote, CNN says Osama bin Laden's son has been killed. And so, yeah, that's one of the songs that Osamason had leaked or something like that. I'm not really sure, but that's funny that those two are connected. But also it's cool that Hassan is talking about Osamason. It shows how big he's getting, and I think Jump Out did low-key level him up a bit, but we'll see how that rolls out, or how that plays out in the future. A lot of the songs are definitely going up across TikTok and social medias, so hopefully people continue to enjoy them. Shout out to Kieran Press Reynolds for the awesome interview, and Osamason, man, I know we've had our issues in the past, but like, unblock me on Instagram, bro. I mean, there's a lot of future for us. I'm gonna be in this industry for a while, so we might as well get used to each other. You know, if you want to do a DM interview, let me know, guys. We just dropped our Ron Shack interview if you want to check that out. But yeah, again, make sure to follow the Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure to join the Discord. And thank you for watching this far. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.